Welcome to Noodles for Lunch, the series where I roll for some noodles for lunch. Brought to you by your friends at Roll for Noodles, inspired by Adventures in Ardia's Roll for Sandwich. But first, can we just take a second to appreciate how cute these dice are? They have paw prints and little turtles inside. Thanks, Kelly. Let's start off with our Roll for Noodle shape. And we've got a 6 for Thai wheat noodles. Next up is the Roll for Sauce. And that's a 5, Aglio e Olio for the second time in a row. Now let's roll for our 2 veggies. First, we've got a 4 for edamame. And second is a 2 for peas. Next up, let's roll for protein. And that's a 4 for tofu. Now it's time to roll for our pastability. That's a 4, rainy day. I wonder what that means. Anyway, let's roll for finishing touch. Alright, an 8, dealer's choice, that means I get to pick. And finally, let's roll for temperature. That's a 2, so for the first time we're going to be eating it cold. Aglio e Olio is Italian for garlic and oil. Usually it also includes some crushed red pepper or diced chilies, some basil or some parsley. Last time I made this I used basil. This time I'm going to use parsley, because that's what I have. We've rolled a decent amount of tofu lately, and I've gotten suggestions to crumble it, to blend it. Both great ideas, which I definitely want to try at some point, but I think since this is an oil-based sauce, I'm going to stick to sauteing it. But next time I roll tofu with tomato sauce, ooh. Alright, let's talk about rainy day. I have tons of packets here from when I rolled ramen noodles, but not the sauces they came with, saving them for a rainy day, if you will. So I'm gonna pick a few and incorporate them into my lunch. I'm seeing the crispy onions that come with the Kung Food noodles, and I think they'd go well as a topper. I also have the sesame seed paste from the Trader Joe's Squiggles, and think I could go for kind of like a cold sesame noodle vibe. I steamed the edamame for a few minutes, now I'm gonna let that cool off and cook the tofu in the same pan. You know what? Today's our rainy day, so I'm gonna go digging back in the bag for one more packet. The Kung Food noodles also came with this vegan goose oil. Aglio e Olio typically uses olive oil, but it also typically doesn't have edamame and peas and sesame paste, so do with that what you will. I don't really like the texture of peas, so I'm just choosing to pretend it's more edamame. Now, I've never tried these Thai wheat noodles before, but they looked good, so I just picked them up. They have tapioca starch in them, meaning they'll probably be a bit chewy, and according to the instructions, they don't need to boil. Alright, let's see. These ended up being extremely stuck together after cooking, so I think next time I'll just boil them. But after breaking it apart with a spatula, it's fine. So I'm gonna take our rainy day sesame seed paste and put it right into the bowl. This stuff is extremely bitter, so I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar, hoping it'll balance out. And now I'll just mix it all together and add the edamame. I'm glad our first cold dish is an oil-based sauce. And I think having a thicker, chewier noodle will hold up a lot better than a thin one, considering how long it's gonna be sitting in the sauce. Alright, I let it cool off and then put it in the freezer for 30 minutes. Now it's time for our last rainy day packet. This is pretty similar to the last Noodles for Lunch, with all the garlic and onion, but hey, it's noodles o'clock and I don't have work today. I think I'm gonna call this one the Aglio e Cold Leo. That's a working title. But anyway, I can see this one being really good. I love garlic and cold sesame noodles, so we'll just see if this all comes together. Cheers! Right away, that is very good. The garlic, spice, and sesame paste all really come together nicely, and the sugar definitely prevented it from being too bitter. Cubing the tofu was definitely the move with this specific dish. We have some great textures going on, from the crispiness of the outside of the tofu, the silkiness of the inside, and then the chewiness of the noodles. The only thing I don't really like, which you might have guessed from context clues, is the peas. To me, peas are just little balls of mush. I think it's rare that they add any flavors or textures of value, but that's just personal preference. I mean, Kelly loves peas, so she'd probably enjoy them more in this than I do. Edamame, however, is one of my favorite vegetables, and I'm loving them here. I wish it was just edamame and not peas, so I think I'm gonna give this one a 9.3. Alright, thanks for watching.